You are now listening to a 302 Birds podcast experience, proudly powered by Tick Pick, Cut, and El Diablo Burritos of Delaware.
Also, proudly powered by now Klondike Kate's and Nick's 302 Pizza. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to 302 Birds Season 5, Episode 4. Trea Turner's on fire. The Cowboys are fucking up as usual. And there's a ton more to talk about, which we will get into in a minute. But first, you guys know, it is currently fantasy football season. Everybody's got drafts going on. So I want to take a second to highlight your all-in-one Power Rankings catalog. This is a fun read if you're hanging out at the beach, you got your toes in the sand, or if your pants are down and you're hanging out on the toilet. Either or, you can read this. Believe it or not, I know how to read and write, and so do some other people on this podcast. We can form sentences that make sense somewhat. Well, the point is, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Got all 32 teams in here. Link is in the bio. Another episode, another day, another dollar. I'll just hit Jack's call on intro, and then I'll pass it to him after this.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is. Their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302 Birds sent you. God bless. Go Birds.
Thank you, El Diablo Burritos, for sponsoring that call-in. Tonight we got a fan favorite, Eric Shard. His birthday's today, so let's wish him happy birthday. Happy birthday, Eric. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
He's 30 now.
24, but
shit. How you feeling tonight? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, guys. I'm fucking trying to not be drunk right now. Just went out for drinks. So yeah, I'm feeling kind of buzzed right now.
That's good to hear. We love to hear it. You deserve it. It's your birthday. You know what I mean? You deserve to get a little buzzed, have fun. What do you have any questions for us tonight?
Yeah. I guess the first question. Obviously Phillies have been hot lately. Just got off a 5-6 game win streak now. If we have about 19-20 games left in the season, do you think we will hit 90 wins this season based on how we performed lately?
I'll give it to Matt. What do you think, Matt?
I think we can. Looking at our schedule from here on out, I mean, we have, we don't really play anyone that's actually too challenging, right? Except we have 7 games against the Braves. I think if the bats continue to be hot, then I think that there's every reason in the world that we'll get 90 wins or more. I think their momentum is going to keep going. And the only thing that we need to see is Phillies pitching getting a little better. We've been winning a lot of games recently, and that's because we're putting up 10, 12 runs a game. But we're also letting up 7 runs a game. And we're not going to be able to put up 10 to 12 runs a game. So if we want to get to the 90 win mark, I think that our pitching is going to need to kind of cement up a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that game today was definitely winnable. And I don't know what the fuck has been Craig Kimbrell's issue lately, but shit needs to change, especially with some of these relievers and starters. I think Christopher Sanchez did well tonight. I do. But for example, Lorenzen had that no-hitter and just has not shown up since the no-hitter. Nola, you gotta, it's like every game he pitches, you just gotta expect a home run from him. And I think Matt sent a text earlier. He's going to be our number 2 starter in the playoffs. And I don't think he's worthy of a playoff start right now. I just don't. I don't think he's shown enough lately. And it's like in the playoffs, if you're going to let up home runs, it's just you can't, unfortunately.
Right. And I mean, that goes to show why they got rid of Lorenzen. I mean, yeah, he had that no-hitter, right? But what has he done good pitching wise since the no-hitter? He hasn't done much. So, I'm kind of nervous. We thought we had some kind of, an ace on the mound. But, you know, in recency games, like he's just not pitching well. I mean, I don't know if that's just how he plays his game or what, but we need to figure something out because, yeah, you know, our offense can be amazing in the playoffs, but, you know, our defense needs to improve too. Our pitching needs to improve because if we have good offense but no pitching, then we're not going to go that far in the playoffs. So I just think we need to figure something out.
Right, and that kind of leads into another question I wanted to ask. With what you've seen with the pitching, do you think the Phillies should go out this all season and make a push for some kind of ace pitcher?
I'll give it to you, Matt. What are you thinking?
I don't think so. I think we have some promising pitchers in the minors. And I want to see what they're going to do. I know we don't have Andrew Painter next season, but we still have Micah Bell. Like, he's a great pitcher that I think is going to do some damage for us in the coming years. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Nola. History shows us that Nola will have a good year, have a bad year, have a good year, have a bad year. And right now he's having a really bad year. So maybe, who knows, maybe next year he's going to have a really good year. Do we want to take the chance on that? I'm not sure. But I do believe that I don't think starting pitching is going to be I don't think it's going to be a main problem for them this offseason. You know, Ranger Suarez, he's a great starter when he's healthy. Zach Wheeler is, you know, he's having a down year as well. I think a lot of this also has to do with the fact that these pitchers have gotten thrown into a pitch clock routine that they've never had to deal with in their life. Stamina's down. Maybe they're getting rattled by, you know, they're not in the right mindset when they're going up to the mound and stuff like that. I think next year is going to be a completely different Philly starting pitching rotation than we see this year. And I think the club knows that, and I don't think they're scared.
So then you think once they get settled into the pitch clock, it'll be a completely different story?
Yes, I believe that.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at Zach Wheeler's history, I mean, he's even having a good year this year. Like, when you look at his numbers, it's not terrible. The only pitcher that's in the Phillies starting rotation that is having a terrible year is Aaron Nola. And he's even come out and said that he's just not comfortable with the pitch clock. So I think that, you know, it's going to definitely be something to get used to. And as you've seen throughout the season, he's getting better and better with each start. I do agree with Rob Thompson. His last 3 starts have been quality starts. He's given up home runs, but they've been solo shots. He hasn't been giving up the long ball when there's 2-3 guys on base. So I do believe that, you know, he's going to continue to get more comfortable as the season progresses into the playoffs. Yeah, that's just my thought on it.
All right, Shard, appreciate you coming on. Moving on up.
Thank you,
We're
guys.
still gonna have Shard on the show later tonight, so stay tuned.
Well,
Thank you, Eric.
Actually, perfect bridge because we're doing it right now. Time for Phillies talk with Ballpark Tommy. Finger stitch. I will give Tommy his ad tonight since he's not here. He's doing whatever, taking his grandpa to dinner or some shit. No, I'm just kidding. He's helping his grandfather out. Reasonable excuse, of course, wishing him well. But the Phillies are on fire. And some of the most on fire pizza, the best pizza in a good way, Nick's Pizza 302. Follow them on Instagram. Some of the best Detroit-style pizza. I want to thank them for sponsoring our podcast throughout the whole year. But that's a nice little bridge into, yeah, Matt, you're loving it, baby. You're loving the Phillies on fire, too. Bravo. I mean, most home runs ever for a team in the NL in August. How you feeling about that?
Dude, as once manager Charlie Manuel said, it's hitting season, baby. It is hitting season. The most home runs in franchise history in a month. Awesome. I mean, just watching these games is so much fun. Like, I think I saw a stat in like the last 9 games, they've trailed 8 out of the 9 games or something like that. And they come back and they win. They find ways to win. They're hitting the ball out of the park. Trea Turner, man. I mean, I just remember those clowns on 94.1 WIP saying that he needs to get traded at the deadline because he's not the player that we signed. Like, what? They're biting their leather shoes, man. Like, it is like, what a disaster. It's just like, come on. Like, you gotta give him a chance. And, the fans gave him a chance. They gave him a standing ovation. And ever since that standing ovation, Trea Turner has been lights out. He's been the Trea Turner. He's been the Trea Turner that we watched in the World Baseball Classic. And the team is loving it. The team is following his hype. I think that this team changed since that standing ovation. They saw that the city of Philadelphia was behind them and that they love them. And ever since that standing ovation, like, this team has just been it's been so much fun to watch. Bryce Harper has his power back. JT Realmuto, I think last night he had 3 hits or something, like 2 RBIs. Like, he's starting to hit the ball well. Trea Turner's on a 19-game home winning streak. He's just continuing to hit home runs. It's just a lot of fun. His batting average has raised from 181 to like 189 over the past like week and a half. He's hitting the ball really well. Johan Rojas and Brandon Marsh. I mean, Brandon Marsh comes back from the IL and he's playing like an all-star center fielder. He's hitting the ball at, career rates. This team is getting hot at the right time, and I'm just fucking stoked for it, man. I am so pumped. I'm so pumped.
I think I'm gonna take credit for because I was at that game when they put the rules when Trea Turner kind of turned it around. So I give credit, for that because I was there for that game.
Did you start the ovation?
Oh yeah. I was the first one to stand up. Right on the
He did start the wave. Just saying.
I did start the wave. Did do that. But yeah, I mean, this is exciting baseball. I mean, the fact that these Phils are playing so well when we started off a shaky start, I think it just, full circle that this team's here. They're gonna make a run in the playoffs, and I think with everyone working like a fine oil machine, I think this is gonna be good in the playoffs. I mean, I like the fact that we put Schwarber in the designated hitter, put Harper back out on the first base. I just think I've watched the past 3 games and there's so much excitement. And like you said, they've been trailing past 3 games and they came back. And it's just so exciting to be a Philly fan right now. Like, I was a little nervous. Like, I'm not a professional watcher of Phillies, but at the beginning of the season, as we all were, we were nervous about it. About this team, how they're going to end up, and then for them to make a completely 180 turn and just play out of their minds just makes me so happy.
They've been lights out all year. Well, not all year, but kind of all year consistently. I mean, there's been up and down, but like, it feels like this year the more consistency has been like on the downs. That they're going to come back up, I guess is what I've been trying to say. Like Matt pointed out earlier, Trea Turner. Even when we've sucked, we're like, okay, you're just waiting to flip that switch. And now the consistency is really starting to gel together. I mean, I know the Angels aren't a good team, but a lot of people today were like, the Phillies are like ready to get, like, a lot of us fans are really, really confident. The consistency is building up now is what I should say. And it's nice to see because like I said, it's been there all year. We've just been waiting to see it gel together. And I really love that Philly captain standing up. That's who deserves some credit. My guy, Philly captain, putting it together for Trea Turner, getting him confident. And it's what the city needs. I mean, look, the Sixers have let us down. The Flyers, I don't even want to mention. The Eagles, I mean, there's only so many months you can watch the Eagles. So it's really up to the Phillies right now to make a decent run in the playoffs. Like, I have a question for you guys too. Like, what would be an underwhelming expectation for you guys? Like, would it be going to the NL East finals, I guess, or the NL East
the championship series?
Yeah. Thank you. Going to that shit, baseball, and losing, or would it be actually going to the World Series and choking? Because for me, like, if we don't win the World Series, it's a letdown. But obviously, I'm the amateur Phillies fan.
Okay,
I mean,
all I got to say is, Dalton, shut the fuck up because we still got to focus about getting into the wild card. We can't look hindsight in 2020. We have to focus on these games. These games matter. So I get where you're coming from, but like, We'll wait till we get there. We'll wait to get there.
Bro, it's going to be here in like 8 weeks.
It's gonna be less than that. It's gonna be less than that.
Yeah, less than that. Like I'm asking you guys, what would be like right now going into it, because these games are starting to matter a lot more and more. I know that at least. What's the letdown? Like what's your expectation for the playoffs? Like where are you at?
let me just say, getting to the NL East championship. Sorry, I just had to roast you for that one. NL East championship. What the fuck? What the fuck is the NL East championship, dude?
Bro, you can ask Tom. Ever since college, I haven't cared about baseball unless I'm winning money on it or drinking at the game. The ballpark is my favorite atmosphere.
He was thinking NFC East championship.
Yeah, fuck that. It's football season, baby.
NFC East championship's not even a thing.
To Dallas fans, it is. Be careful.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying?
I agree with Jack on this. We got to get to the playoffs. Right now, we only have a 4-game lead, I believe, on the wild card, which, we look at it and we're like, that's a good lead. 4 games is nice and comfortable. But if we have a bad week, I mean, who knows? When we have a 4-game series against the Braves. If we get swept by the Braves and the teams that are also in the hunt for the wild card, we could as easily find ourselves just not in the hunt anymore. Just as easily as we can if we keep winning and keep gaining ground. That's the thing about baseball. It's so fragile and the game is so random that it's not like football in the sense where if you have a good team, you're going to go to the playoffs. Baseball is so random in the sense that, you got to take one game at a time. You got to take one series at a time. Thinking about the playoffs where they are right now is getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. It's a lot of fun to think about because they have a good team to do it. They have a team to make a Cinderella run like they did last year. But I do truly believe that with the roster that we have, this year isn't the year that we're going to go win the World Series. Like our team next year and the year after and the year after that is going to be so much better than it is right now. Look at how young our guys are. I mean, you're looking at Brandon Marsh is like 25, Bryson Stott's 24, 25. You have Johan Rojas, who is 21 or something like that. Like 3, 4, 5 of our starters are so young. And next year and the year after that, they're going to be hitting their prime. And that's when this team is going to be dangerous. Like right now, we're just starting to get into it. And we're already talking about possible going back to the World Series, it just makes me so excited for the future. So this year, I'm not going to be heartbroken if they don't make it as far as our expectations as Philadelphia goes. Because, they're playing good baseball and, that's just what I want to see. If they get swept in the first round, I'll be a little pissed off. Because I really do hope that they make it past the wild card, but I don't have massive expectations.
I didn't want to cut Matt off. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think especially after, all the letdowns last season, it's kind of hard to be let down anymore. It's kind of expected.
True.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like, especially after being let down, 3-4 times if you count the Union, especially as a Phillies fan, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like going into this season, especially with the Phillies, even the Eagles, I don't know what to expect. And it's like, if we don't make the World Series, I'm not going to be as pissed as I was last year that, when we lost. I will say there is a slight possibility, and I don't think he'll play, that Reese might come back. They've been kind of on the fence about it. I think if he does come back, our chances might be slightly better. Do I think it'll be, a big margin better? No. But again, like we were talking about earlier, I do think if our pitching continues to be what it is, we're not going to make a deep push.
Pepe, you're actually here? Holy crap.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening with my headphones were killing my thing. I don't know. I didn't miss anything though because I don't know jack shit about baseball. So really,
Welcome to my world. Spending for my life out here, man.
I've been to one Phillies game. It was really boring. I thought we just hit some balls, throw some balls, whatever. I mean, I have a Hoskins jersey.
Oh, he's not coming back, so you're gonna have to burn that shirt.
He's coming back. He's coming back. I don't know. I just feel like every year it's like, oh, the Phillies need pitching. They need a bullpen. Oh, the Sixers need a 3-point shooter. Like, oh, the Flyers need everything.
Wow, you're such a good Philly fan. My God.
He could replace Howard Eskin with those takes. I'm just saying.
Listen, I know Flyers hockey and I know Eagles football.
Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know.
You sound like Howard Eskin too. I know Flyers hockey, and I know.
I hate that guy. I hate Howard Eskin. I hate.
Nah, bro. Guy. He's got his beats on the sideline. He knows what he's doing.
Howard Eskin's your daddy.
He wants to like. He was like in love with his daughter. He was pulling a Trump. He was like hitting on his own daughter or something.
Oh my God! Next segment.
Moving on up.
Eric, I want to thank you for jumping on the show with us as always, brother. Have a good night and happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
Can we sing happy birthday to Eric before he leaves real quick?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
This is the most happy birthday,
Sean.
Happy birthday, dear Sean.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Also, before I go, just for those of you that don't know, I do run the 302 shop with Colin. We have a lot of things in the works, especially for the start of this football season. So definitely keep an eye on that. But yeah, have a good night, guys. Go Phils, go Birds, and we'll see where this season takes us.
You forgot about the
I'm putting Jack on the screen so that he knows to get called out by Colin to help you guys with the online store. So you hear that, Jack? There's a lot of cool things in the works. We just got to help him.
Why are we letting Jack do that? His mom picks out all his clothing.
Hey, Jack designed all the stuff for his fraternity. He's very artistically inclined, actually. I will give him credit.
Have you seen?
There was one time in art class, but I won't bring up the story. Just that's what I want to do with this Ben Simmons quote. Just Philly. What the fuck? Ben Simmons said if he could get traded to one place, and if you're listening on Spotify right now, you're not tripping. They asked him, Ben Simmons, future landing spots, if you could go to one place. Trade destination, where would it be? He goes, just Philadelphia. It's like a second home to me. They are going to drug test this man. Somebody said it, I think, in the group chat or in the Discord. They're going to drug test this man, not for his steroid use or whatever the fuck, because he's jacked. They're going to drug test him for his fucking comments. Who the fuck would ever want to go back to a city where they were literally burning your jerk? I mean, on a minimum deal, Simmons for Harden, people in the comments saying, I wouldn't be about it. I mean, look at Jack's face. Why are you making that face?
I mean, this guy needs to be checked into an insane asylum. If he thinks that he's going to be back in Philly, he's smoking whatever he's smoking. Like, come on now. Like, the fact that even in the playoffs last season, like when he posted a picture on Facebook or Twitter of like him drinking his Fiji water and watching like the game in the background when the Sixers lost, like, dude, you know,
we don't forget. We don't.
And Philly fans are brutal, and I love that about us. We will remember that. We will take that to the grave. So if he thinks we want him back in Philly, then he should be checking in the insane asylum, because what good has he done for us when he played for us? Nothing, really. He can't make us out.
He did more than James Harden.
No shot.
I think it's up for debate. I mean, like, it's seriously debatable because, like, James Harden has been here for, this will be his third season, if I'm not mistaken,
It would be
right?
his second. It would be like 2.5 years.
His second full season, yeah. So, I mean, like, James Harden has had one good playoff game, whereas Ben Simmons has probably had at least one good play. We know he's had a bad playoff game. Wink, wink. Nod, nod. Hint, hint. But, I mean, I think that that's a reasonable take. I mean, when you look at what Ben Simmons has done, he rookie of the year, right? I mean, he's brought memories to the city of Philadelphia that we'll cherish. I mean, maybe not for another 30 or 40 years, but at some point, right?
He's obviously kidding by this quote. However, I look he would take him back on the condition that we also keep Harden. I think that would be like the funniest team ever. And beat Harden and Simmons, just like one guy who can't play in the playoffs and two lefties who just like forget how to play basketball at random times. That would be awesome. And it'd just be like a big FU to Brett Brown and Doc Rivers.
You are a fucking genius. You know, you are a smart guy. It's like 3 negatives make a positive. That might be the fucking formula we've needed this whole time.
Daryl Morey, you're out. Josh, you're in. No, here's what I think. I don't think this was a joke. And the reason I think this is because he says this quote a couple months after Doc Rivers is gone. I think he hated Doc. I think he didn't like playing for Doc, and it sounds like there's a lot of people that probably didn't like playing for Doc. And so I think that he sees that Nick Nurse is now the new coach. And let's be honest, even when you leave Philly, you miss the fans. You miss them giving you shit. You miss them actually caring about you. There's no other team in the NBA that cares as much as Philadelphia fans do. Like, I do truly believe that. Like, playing in Brooklyn is not the same as playing in Philadelphia. And I'm sure he misses that kind of push from the fans to like actually want to do something. And I think, seeing that Doc is not on this team, seeing that there is going to be a point guard position opening up possibly, I do think that it's in his mind to be like, I want to go back. And like, I want to show these fans what they've missed the past 2 years. I want to show them that I mean, probably hasn't developed a shot, but I'm sure he thinks that he has. And I don't think that he's doing it as a joke, because I don't really think that there's a reason for him to be joking about it. You know what I mean? Like, not like Ben Simmons' name has not come out of like any of our mouths in seriousness for a very long time. So like him bringing that up out of nowhere, I feel like that would be very childish. But again, we're also talking about the NBA, and it seems like every player in the NBA is childish. So I could be wrong as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it also doesn't matter, because like we're just gonna lose in the second round again, no matter what.
Yeah, this is true. And like Tony said, when's the last time he saw a court and then played on it? Like,
we're getting a high school gym 3-point jump shot video from Simmons any minute now. This is about the time.
For sure. He's gonna put it on Twitter, like probably over the weekend.
Like, hashtag Bleacher Report and Ben Simmons in the lab.
Draining half-court shots.
In his Sixers jersey, too, just like Carson Wentz. They're both, like, fucking around like something with Mercury retrograde, wearing their old team swag. Fucking idiots thinking that they...
That Carson Wentz Sixer went hard.
There is one thing that brings me back to the Phillies. Gene Segura was seen in his latest Instagram post wearing a Philly shirt.
Let's go.
It's kind of like that Carson Wentz, maybe Ben Simmons sort of ordeal.
People love Philly. Everybody wants to play for Philly. Nobody wants to
Even if you hate it.
Well, yeah, I mean, people love Philly. They miss it when they leave. So we'll see if Gardner Johnson's the same way. Probably not, dickhead. Sorry. Moving on. Moving on up. Next topic. Dalton. I know you're behind the scenes. Okay, awkward. That was really awkward silence.
From undrafted free agent.
Bro, it was like 5 seconds. Sorry.
It's 5 seconds too long. Weird. Do better.
5 seconds. 5 seconds is a long time. It's a long time, guys.
I do like this elevate him to the 53-man roster because he's had really good preseason games. My only concern, and it's a cool story how he kind of came to be. He's kind of like Reed Blankenship. Not Reed Blankenship. Is it Reed Blankenship? Yeah, Reed Blankenship. But it's like the only gripe I have with him is he needs to not mouth off, because we've seen him in the preseason. Like, he could have had at least 3 taunting penalties that would have cost us 15 yards. So I like the move that we elevate him to the roster, but at the same time, he needs to learn, to be put in a spot.
Yeah. Eli Ricks is a dog. He came out and he showed up. Like, he played really well this preseason, and I think he's going to be great when injuries arise, because I'm not one of those fans. It's like, we're going to stay healthy all year. I think he's going to be able to fill in really well. So I think it was a good decision on the Birds' part to let him stay. And then, I mean, we can even talk about Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones kind of came out of nowhere. I forgot about him, in all honesty. And then this
Sidney Brown.
Sidney Brown, not Sidney Jones. Yeah, Sidney Brown. Thank you for the correction.
Sucked.
Sidney Brown.
Don't you?
I think Sidney Brown is he's gonna light up the league. I think him and Reed Blankenship they're gonna do a good job back there. Sidney Brown reminds me a lot of like Brian Dawkins. Like he just puts his body on the line and just lays people out.
He's fast.
And like I love seeing that. Like I cannot wait to see that against the Cowboys. Just popping CD Lamb. He's down for like 10 seconds because he can't catch his breath. And Sidney Brown's just flocking like a fucking eagle, baby. And the crowd's going crazy. I have chills thinking about it. We haven't had
some crazy fans screaming his ass off 13 beers deep at the link. That's our label.
That's gonna be me. No, but I am like, we haven't had a hard-hitting safety since Malcolm Jenkins. And there's something to say about a safety that can hit people hard. Like it adds an energy level to this defense. And I think it's going to be fantastic. I really do hope that he gets the starting position. I don't know if it's going to be week 1. I don't know if we've heard anything. Is Terrell Edmonds actually doing anything? I haven't seen anything on him all preseason. So I'm assuming
they didn't really play him at safety though. In his defense, like they kind of were doing like that like hybrid linebacker thing with Edmonds throughout the preseason games.
Okay,
but that doesn't say anything. I mean, still rather Sidney Brown played really well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Sidney Brown's stats, I think he was the highest rated defender like in all of preseason for like any team. I think he was like in the 90s. It was like in the 90s or something like that. In coverage and tackling. Like so, I'm super excited about what he's going to offer. Him and Eli Ricks.
Zeppelin.
Yeah, I mean, you guys covered. I have nothing else to say. I don't. Can he punt? Because we don't have a punter on the roster.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, that was crazy that we cut Sipas.
Well, he's on a practice squad. We also kind of did the same thing with Covey. We're like, we cut him, we put him to the practice squad. Like, I assume we're gonna look for a punt returner and for a punter. And if we can't find one, we'll just call those guys up week 1 stuff, and that's probably gonna be the format. But yeah, no, Eli played great all of preseason. I think he plays a lot like Bradbury, where like he's kind of a stick coverage physical guy, where Slate kind of gives a little more room and then kind of baits people into it. I think Eli he plays more on him. But yeah, I have full confidence in the world of him right now. It'd be cool if somebody could punt on the team. That would be nice.
They're gonna bring in that one YouTuber, destroying or whatever.
Wait. Oh, Philadelphia Eagles? Yeah, I can punt for you. How about that?
Shut the fuck up, dude. That's literally you and every fucking fan. Because you know who beat you to it today? Do you remember our guy Sean Watson, who worked the bar at our event in the Eagles suit that sometimes has the belt?
Yeah.
He puts up his jersey today on Facebook and photoshops his fucking name as punter, number 19, walk on. So you and him, man, you guys got to compete. You already have competition. Who can kick it further? You at like 30 yards or him at like 25? We'll see.
So here's my kind of 2 cents on the punting situation. Sipas, whatever the fuck his name is, sucked. He was a terrible fucking punter. He was ranked like 24th out of 31 punters. So I think he needs to just never be an Eagle again. I mean, when you think about that kick in the Super Bowl, like that was such a disgrace. That sucked, man. I mean, like I would be happy if he never punted again for us. But going off of that, the Eagles are actually eyeing a trade with the Steelers for this punter named Brady, punter for the Jets. And last season he was ranked number 4 in punting, like average punt yards or something like that. And that's what we need. We need a boomer who misses like Donnie Bag of Jones bones.
Donnie Jones, baby.
He was a great
Guy's a
punter.
fucking vampire.
Yeah, dude.
Nah.
He was jacked though.
He was.
When he held that football, dude, he was veiny, like he was ripped. And I'm like, no punter should look like that. But no, Braden Mann, I think would be a great pickup for us. As for the punt returner, Britton Covey sucked. Let's be honest. He did nothing for us.
He was horrible.
Yeah, he
I'd
really
rather
did
have
nothing
Greg
for us.
Ward.
Yeah, I would rather. I mean, Boston Scott could be cool. He could be like a little, Darren Sproles, which would be awesome. But also, I think, if we were to put Zacchaeus, who was the guy that we got from the Falcons? Whatever the hell that name is.
Olamide Zacchaeus. Olamide
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
Yeah. He's
Just
a punt
buy a
returner. Or put Kez Watkins back there. He's fast. Actually give something to do, like give Kez to do something. That would be great.
How about Sidney Brown? He's fast as shit.
Sidney Brown, and he can just lay his shoulder down. He clearly doesn't care about his safety.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be okay. Britton Covey, I could be happy if I never see him again, and same goes for Aaron Sipos.
Why not Devin Allen? I never got that. Devin Allen is like literally
so
an
fast.
Olympic runner. Like,
And yeah,
just tape his elbows together when he catches the ball. That's all he does.
he had some good returns in the preseason. I'm surprised I'm surprised they didn't keep him. He's going to be back on the practice squad, so maybe they're going to keep him, maybe they're going to elevate him for game days and stuff like that for the first couple of weeks. But I think he's too big of an experiment just to never use. He is so fast.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think we should look at Devin Allen.
Jackson, you got anything else, or you want to run next segment?
Next segment.
All right, cool. So this season, I do want to thank the Fantasy Football Network for helping us out and giving us a new platform where you can dominate your fantasy football experience. Download the app. You can get advice on there, listen to the podcast directly on there, all kinds of cool stuff. It's a pretty dope app. It's all for advice. It's not like Sleeper or ESPN. It's just another way to get advice. So this is actually one of our fans' teams. So he's got Jalen. Huh?
Not too big of a deal, but they're kind of blurry. It's kind of hard to see. But
I know. That's why I'm going to read it out because this picture quality is ass cheeks. I know.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts at QB, running back Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. His wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, Jerry Jeudy, Mike Williams. His flex, he's got David Montgomery, TJ Hawkinson. His kicker is Tyler Bass. That's not ass. Bench, he's got Daniel Jones. That's a shocker that he's on the bench. Jalen Warren, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, Rondell Moore, and Dallas Goedert on the bench. Interesting. What do you guys think of this team? Give me.
League?
I don't know what the fuck this is, but I mean, rate this team 1 to 10. I mean, if you're saying that, you probably got to be at least in the 9, 8.5 range.
This has got to be like a 9.5.
It's a good team.
I mean, that is an amazing. If that's like a 10-person league, then the people that he was drafting with are fucking stupid. I mean, this is a team that is stacked.
Yeah, besides the bench isn't great, but
the bench isn't great. But I mean, having Daniel Jones on your bench is still that's a good backup quarterback, and then having Dallas Goedert on your bench as well. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, when the bye weeks hit, maybe he's gonna have to look at the waiver wire or something like that because his wide receivers and backup running backs aren't amazing, but his starting offense is unbelievable. And there's no defense.
No defense either. I did not crop that out, but shout out to Ryan Ehrman, Ehrann. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your last name. But hey, your last name should be knows how to fucking draft in fantasy, son, because you kicked ass with this team. I'm giving this team a 9 on my scale. Jackson, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9. Yeah, like I said, like Matt said, it's like kind of stacked that he has all those, top 10 players on his starting, I would say top 15. Like, obviously with our draft, that wasn't those picks weren't around, so I'm surprised. Like you said, there's no defense either.
Classic 6-man.
Defense sucks. Defense sucks. Shouldn't draft defense in fantasy.
Rock defense, baby. Love it.
Rock defense.
Jack would draft offensive line in fantasy football if we let him.
Oh, 1,000%.
He steals the gap really fucking nice. Yo,
Dude, Milano's fucking this guy up. He got me 8 fantasy points.
Here's something jacked up about fantasy. I had a draft tonight, okay? I had a draft tonight. Apparently, in the group chat on Monday afternoon, somebody's like, oh, you know what? I'm busy Wednesday night. They move it to Tuesday. I didn't see it. They scheduled it for 10:30 last night on Tuesday. I wake up at 4 a.m. this morning to go to work because I'm an American hero, and that's what time I wake up to go to work. And they were like, oh, Josh forgot. Fucking auto draft. What? 10:30 on a Tuesday? That's not a fantasy football draft hour. Okay? I just had to get that out there.
Josh, if you're American hero, what's your KD?
Oh, it's high. It's quite high. It's high.
Okay.
Wait, so Josh, what does your team look like? You auto draft the entire thing. What does it look like?
Haven't opened the goddamn app today. Don't give a fuck. Just haven't opened it. Somebody texted me. They're like, you know what? It's not that bad. I said, I haven't looked. They said, well, you got Cooper Kupp. I said, okay. I'm a big Cooper Kuppski fan. I do love Cooper Kupp. But that's I don't know. My quarterback could be like Trey Lance or like somebody really bad. I don't know. I'm not looking. But if I win that, see, it's a lose-lose. Because if I lose, I'm like, oh, I'm the auto draft guy. If I win, it's like, oh, he auto draft didn't do anything. So I just got to hit the waiver wire hard and pretend like I'm actually doing something now. It upsets me. Okay, good. Thank you for listening. I feel better.
That's the same shirt you wore last night.
It's my sleeping shirt. I wear this shirt for 2 hours a night.
Are you like a basic white bitch who has a sleeping shirt? What the hell?
No. I come home, I take off my work shirt, I put on a sleeveless shirt, I work out, then I shower, then I eat dinner, and then I put this shirt on for 2 hours before I go to sleep. And then I sleep in the nude. TMI, I don't care. Everybody can know that. That's what happens. That's what's going on in the bed. So I'm not going to change my shirt every day when I wear it for 2 hours.
Whatever.
Wow, Josh, when you work out, that's pretty cool.
How about you design a sleeping shirt in the store, Jack?
I will.
You won't.
Jack's going to become a trillionaire from this idea now. Oh, we have an Eagles branded one too.
Anyway, moving on.
Derek Barnett wants the fuck out. How do you guys feel about this?
I'm cool with it. Our D-line's stacked, and when he played last season, or not last season, the season before that, he was led with a lot of penalties. So, I mean, to get that off the roster, I'm cool with it. I mean, we got young bucks that are going to step up, fill a spot in pretty easily. I mean, he didn't really do much like in the preseason, and I didn't even recognize who he was. So I'm cool. You know, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing, and I could get a lot of flack for this. Derek Barnett's kind of our guy that, like, if we need to injure someone, just put him in. You know, he can get suspended for a couple games. It's not going to hurt us.
I'm with that. Yep.
Like, if we don't have Derek Barnett on our team and, like, we need to start a fight or something because someone fucked with one of our players, we don't have that guy anymore. Derek
Jason
Barnett
Kelce.
was... No, we don't want him. We don't want him to get suspended.
True.
See Derek Barnett.
Yeah, this is a fucking pawn.
Yeah. Like, let's just, like, okay, oh, you just injured Jason Kelce for going to his knees or something. Derek Barnett, you're in there and go like punch someone in the face, and like just
kill Tom Brady.
So like that's the only reason that I'm like, don't leave. But also like he does jack shit for us, so like you can leave. It's one of those things.
What do you think Dougie P said to him before that play, like to hype him up? Get the fuck out there and kill him, and I'll get you a fucking ice cream. Like, what do you think he actually said to hype him the fuck up? Because, like, I don't think Doug Peterson could ever motivate somebody. I feel like Derek Barnett would be like, "Shut up, bitch." Look at him like that.
I will say Doug Peterson is the ultimate savage coach. He cut his own son, which is crazy.
Yes, I'm glad we're talking about that.
Like, I'm like, okay, well, that surprised me, but at the same time, like he wants to get the good guys on the field.
He wants to win.
Like, exactly. He doesn't give a fuck. Hey, son. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you, but I'll give you a life supply of ice cream. Here you go. Enjoy it.
Winners win and losers lose.
Didn't his son like have like, I think what was his son? He had like one drop or something in preseason, and then he had a really botched long snap or something. I think it's a good move because it shows that there's no nepotism. But like, I mean, that's gotta suck to have that. That's got to be probably the most horrible part of his job that like he's ever had to do. Huh?
Or do you think he made like the GM or like an assistant coach be like, yeah, like your dad hates me.
You're adopted. You're adopted. You're not a good football player. I'm sorry. You're cut.
But here's an ice cream.
That Thanksgiving meal is going to be very awkward.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
It's like, so son, what are you thankful for this year? Not much. You hate me. You cut me from your team. You cut me from your team. I don't know. That's got to be awkward as shit. Why would he even allow that? Like, if I was a coach of a baseball or football team and my son was like, can I play for you? I'd be like, fuck no.
Look at the Cowboys, though, with that one running back that they drafted. That turned out well, for now, I should say, but...
He's overrated.
He is overrated, but, I mean, it turned out decent. I mean, they got him in, the fucking 68th round or something? So, I mean, it was a good pick for him.
Who?
What's his name? Deuce Vaughn?
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn, I believe.
He's like 4'3".
Deuce Vaughn's good, though.
No, he's not going to do shit.
He killed it at K-State last year.
He'll be their new Tony Pollard, I think.
And Tony Pollard's going to be their new Ezekiel Elliott?
Yes. And Zeke is going to be the new fucking fuck-up on the Patriots. Fucking motherfuckers out there. Number 15, he's got it. I would love to see what it's like when Belichick and Zeke talk, too. Like, that's probably another conversation. Just fucking fly on the wall. Zeke, please come in and sit down.
He's just like,
fuck you want, Belichick?
Okay.
Yeah, like Zeke is like such like if you see some of the film on Zeke, like the things that he says, like he does not give a fuck. I mean, he's a great player. And I know that Belichick is like notorious for coaching these guys, but like he and Zeke, like they have to have some hilarious banter because I know Jack watches the fucking Kelsey Brothers podcast, and some of the shit that Edelman says about fucking Belichick, like their banter that they've had, like Julian Edelman, one story real quick. He always had to wear red gloves. That's the whole story, is he had to be flashy, wear red gloves. Well, I never knew this until the other day, but in the NFL, whatever team you're playing, you want to try to wear gloves to match their jersey color. So that way, if you're holding, it's harder for the refs to see it. I was thinking, okay, that's kind of cool. So Julian Edelman is telling the story about like how they were playing, like, I forget who it was, a team that was wearing a white jersey and had on the red gloves, and he grabbed the player, and like on the fucking sideline, Belichick's like, you just had to fucking grab the glove. Like, had to wear the fucking flashy gloves, Julie. And then it just sounds like such a Belichick story. So, like, that's like, I hope that Hard Knocks goes there. Sorry, I just wanted to go off on a tangent about that. But
I will say one last thing. I was thinking about it with Dougie P and his son. His son's going to get picked up on some team, and they're going to be playing a game. And his son's going to go out of his way just to run down the sideline and just fucking nail his dad. Like, fuck you, Dad. You didn't pick me on your team. What the hell? And then just keep going on. Anyway, moving on up. Sorry, I just had to say that. I was laughing.
You're all good. We're having some fun. It's all good. Those are all good stuff. Especially because we have the time. But Derek Barnett seeking a trade, get the fuck out. Plain and simple. I mean, I'm thankful for what Derek Barnett did. He's the guy who picked up Brandon Graham's strip sack fumble. I'll always be thankful for that. But at the end of the day, Derek Barnett has been an underwhelming player for what he was supposed to have been. When he came out for the Eagles, you're like, this guy's Reggie White's sack record. He's going to be a fucking god. He's going to be a beast. And he hasn't been. He's been decent, but he's more negatives than more positives, unfortunately, with the penalties. So as far as I'm concerned, get out. The problem is you're not going to get a good return for him right now. So just let him sit on the...
False.
You think so? Where?
False. Here's why. The Eagles have a history of trading people after the 53-man cut deadline. Didn't we? We traded Eric. We traded Rager last year. Don't forget that. I think. No, we didn't trade Bradford after the cut. All right, never mind. I don't know. Some people fucking.
Rager got cut. Surprising.
Yeah, because he's
got waived.
I would trade Jalen Rager for a bag of balls, like any day of the week.
We talking golf balls or footballs?
Any type of balls, like even
I prefer golf balls.
Have cancer, like non-cancerous testicles.
Interesting.
I would take that for Jalen Rager. Yeah,
going for his life. I like that.
Okay. I'm not going for his life. He's just a bad football. I'm sure he's a great guy. It's not. Listen, The issue with these guys, Derek Barnett, Jalen Reagor, it's not their fault that they're first round picks. Obviously they're happy. They don't ask to be first round picks. You know what I mean? If Derek Barnett was a third round pick, he would be on this team and nobody in Philly would fucking care. They'd be like, you know what? He gives us decent production for a third round pick. He was a first round pick and he peaked his rookie year. Jalen Reagor, if Jalen Reagor was a third round pick, we'd be like, all right, this guy still kind of fucking sucks, to be honest. But, like, you know, you get the point.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they didn't want to be first-round picks, then maybe they just shouldn't have tried as much in college.
It's facts. That's facts. Derek Barnett should not have.
Or how he ruined Jalen Reagor's career. Like, do you think if Jalen Reagor wouldn't have been drafted as high, he would have actually panned out on a team, would have had good confidence, it all would have came together to get drafted as high?
I don't know. He's bad. He's bad. He's a bad football player. He's a bad football player.
It all started with the Eagles. I mean, how do you come back from that, though? That was pretty fucking bad, his tenure on the Eagles.
I did find myself today actually watching Jalen Reagor highlights because I was like, wait, I kind of forget his entire tenure with the Eagles.
Oh, was it like a 10-second video? Like, how long was it?
It was 1 minute and 36 seconds. And he had a couple of good punt returns. I forgot that he was a punt returner, but all of his good punt returns was when he dropped the football. He never had a good punt return when he actually caught it.
Against the Packers. Against the Packers, I remember that one.
Yep, that was a good one. He also had a couple of cool, like, kind of like out of nowhere, like, oh, he is him moments, like catching the ball.
And they were all like with 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter when we were down by like a shit ton of points.
Yep.
Every time they would just throw the ball, but Jalen Reagor would come down with it.
Yeah. So I mean, like, his highlight video is kind of cool. But I mean, yeah, it's very short. I don't think any team's really going to pick him up unless it's going to be practice squad.
At least we don't, turn our own teammates, there, Chris. Have you seen practices?
What?
You're muted, buddy. Chris Lee said this. He's a Cowboys fan. Yeah.
Speak of the fucking devil. As he fucking comes in, we fucking on cue talk about his team. I mean, this is fucking comical. Sitting back, having my fucking drink. If I drank coffee, I would have it. Fucking my tea. Watching Jerry Jones say, I mean, what is he, off of his medicine or something? It's bad. Said that he wishes they drafted Jalen Hurts #1. How the fuck does Dak Prescott feel about that? That's got to be pretty ass. And then #2, you go out and you pick up Trey Lance. And if you guys have seen the video of Dak sitting there when he's getting interviewed, they're like, hey, how do you feel about them picking up Trey Lance? Were you surprised? He goes, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. This could be bad, like worse than we think for your Dallas Cowboys. And as an Eagles fan, I'm sitting here laughing because I never would have thought in a million years that Jerry Jones after that would say, I wish that I had Jalen Hurts. I mean, just a year ago, it was so hard for him to admit that Jalen Hurts was doing well. And now he's literally kicking himself and admitting it to the rest of the league. I mean, that's just got to make Dak Prescott feel like shit, in my opinion.
I don't think so. Sorry, Matt.
No, go ahead, Josh. It's all yours.
It's kind of like what we were just talking about. Like, Trey Lance is a first rounder, but you ever see Trey Lance throw a football? Trey Lance is not a good football player. He's not a good quarterback. Like,
I mean, Dak seems pretty upset. He seems pretty threatened.
No, Dak is just emotionless. Like, Jerry Jones saying that thing about Jalen Hurts, like, I think he's just, like, that's kind of a weird thing to say. I think he's just kind of dick riding, like, oh, Jalen Hurts is good. We knew it over here in Dallas. I'm salting my McNuggets. But, like, Trey Lance, I don't think Dak Prescott's that word. Trey Lance is bad. Like, he cannot throw a football. That's yeah.
That was a good take, Josh. Good take.
Yeah, I really like the part about the salted McNuggets.
That was huge.
Yeah, Jerry Jones salts his McDonald's because he doesn't care about sodium because he's old as fuck.
And he's racist because he's old as fuck. Anyway, sorry.
My favorite thing about all of this is Jerry Jones saying, if Jalen Hurts fell to us, we were going to draft him. But didn't Dallas have the pick before us? Before we drafted Jalen Hurts?
I don't know. They had the pick
I think
before
they did. I think
don't
they
know.
drafted right before us in the second round.
They
So
drafted
Jerry
before us
Jo-
in the first round.
Yeah. So I just think it's funny, Jerry Jones saying that, if he fell to us, we would have taken him when he did fall to them. I just think it's kind of comical. As for Dak Prescott, this is his last year in Dallas. If he does not do well, if they do not make it past the second round, he's gone. I'm very confident in saying that. I think Trey Lance is their backup option. Trey Lance really hasn't gotten a chance to play too much because he's been injury ridden. I think he can do something good. I think he needed out of San Fran. I don't think it was a good kind of situation for him there. And also Jimmy Garoppolo. I forget if you guys brought this up. I was focusing on the TikTok, but Jimmy Garoppolo saying that like he doesn't know what's going on over in San Francisco. So like behind the scenes, what are we confident that like everything's on the up and narrow in San Francisco? I know that we're talking about the Cowboys, but what do you guys think about Garoppolo's comment?
I think he's salty.
You think he's salty?
I think he's salty. Again, another quarterback who's not great at throwing the football. So I don't know. I don't know. I will say I do think John Lynch gets like a lot of. I think people turn a blind eye because, like his drafting is either hit or miss. Like he either drafts Pro Bowlers or he drafts like horrible people. Like they gave up 3 first rounders for Trey Lance. 3. That is a lot of first round picks. And they did nothing with him. Like he played like 2.5 games as a starter. Like the Jimmy G thing, they made a Super Bowl, but like I don't know if you can really count that as a good move. He drafts great D linemen. He drafts Debo. I don't know. I think George Kittle was drafted before John Lynch. Like I guess 49ers are overrated. That's all I'm gonna say. They're a bunch of pussies. No, fuck them. That's it.
I had a great, actually, kind of chat with a bunch of our fans yesterday. I was going through my power rankings, and I have the 49ers at 7 in my power rankings, and it pissed a lot of people off. Like, people were not very happy with that. And I basically said that the team is a good team, but I think Brock Purdy is so overhyped. Like, I really think Brock Purdy is probably the most average quarterback out there. And without him, like last year, he really had nothing to lose. And this year, he has everything to lose because now the 49ers have put all of their chips into him. And I don't think he's going to be able to handle the pressure. And I think that offense is going to be terrible.
If you think about it, like they traded 3 first round picks to keep Brock Purdy when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
That is a lot of pressure for Mr. Irrelevant.
Completely agree. Jack, what do you think on all of this?
I mean, you guys pretty much said it. I have no other comments on it.
That's a nice hat, though, Jack. Keep looking sexy, buddy.
The 49ers are laughable right now as a franchise. It's funny because their fans expect so much, but really when you look at it over the past 20 years, they've kind of gotten so little. Yes, they've made it in games and competed, but they've never really gotten the job done. And that's the one thing that the Eagles have on the Niners fans since 2000. That's the Eagles' like ultimate argument. Like we should have a t-shirt that just says like since 2000 in the Eagles font, because like since 2000, I mean like with a lot of NFC teams, we kick your ass. The Niners are relevant, but they were relevant like fucking 30 years ago. Their fans are annoying.
True. They won the Super Bowl. With Kaepernick.
No, they didn't. They lost to the Ravens when the power went out. They lost that game. That's what I mean. They haven't gotten the job done. Yeah. They have not gotten the job done. So they've been close. Alex Smith, big failure for them. I mean, he ended up balling out for the Chiefs then, and then actually for the Commandos even for a little bit. That didn't work out in their favor. So, I mean, they're just kind of a laughable franchise in my opinion. And their fans are the fucking worst. I mean, can we all agree upon that? Like, their fans it's them and Cowboys fans for me that are really annoying. And I'm not going to lie, it wasn't until this year that I really started hating 49ers fans. They're just
How many-
ignorant, and they still whine.
49ers fans you know?
Like 6.
How do you guys know all these fucking people? That's crazy to me.
Like tailgates, you meet them, and then like TikTok. But like, there's
You
some
don't know.
49ers fans that are cool. But like, yeah, like I don't know them. Like I'm not like
No.
over their house on Sunday. Like, yo, man, you gonna watch the game? Yeah, like fuck your Niners, bang bang Niner gang, fuck you. Like, no, it's not like that.
I mean, they're not a laughable franchise. I think they're either tied or they're ahead of the Packers for like most NFC championship games the last like 15 years, right?
I guess that's a good point. That like to have all those titles, you got to have all those fuck ups too.
You're right. Like they haven't won Super Bowl. Like they haven't finished the deal. Like, but again, Jimmy G had the pass to Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl. Fucking missed it because he can't throw a football. I mean, that's the truth. He handed the ball off, or he threw 8 passes in the NFC Championship game against the Packers that year. He threw 8 passes.
Same with Dakota. He can't throw a ball.
The crazy thing is Jimmy G somehow still beat Aaron Rodgers in Wisconsin, in the cold in the playoffs. That still doesn't make any sense to me.
Aaron Rodgers was throwing to nobody.
He's probably on ayahuasca too. Let's be honest.
Second best receiver was Alan Lazard.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all we got for you guys tonight. I don't have anything else. We did have some trivia. I mean, can we just answer it for the hell of it? I mean, like on the bottom, do you want to just go over it?
Sure. The question was, I need to find it.
Who caught the infamous 4th and 20?
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dordan, the mayor of Delaware.
What was the question, Matt?
Go ahead, Jack. You got it.
Oh, no, seriously, what was it?
You actually want me to do it?
Yeah.
It's who caught the infamous 4th and 26 pass in the Philadelphia Eagles? What was it, 2004?
Yeah, I think it was 04. We'll just say from Donovan McNabb to be safe.
From Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, it's the only year they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
You got A, Freddie Mitchell, B, Deshaun Jackson, C, Jeremy Maclin, or D, Terrell Owens.
Smitty.
Oh,
yeah, that works. Or Tio.
Hank Basquet.
I'm gonna say.
Can I lock in my answer because it's the end of the podcast? Then
no. So the answer is Freddie Mitchell.
So nobody gets it.
No, because you already had.
I guess. Wait, give the fans a chance.
We already said the answer.
I don't know if there's a comment in there tonight. Let's see. I'm trying to see if anybody had it. No. So I guess nobody fucking gets it this week, but there still is a trivia for the listeners, so you still get your Eagles knowledge.
This will be better next week. I was just celebrating a big win on my betting issues.
Wait, we didn't talk about that yet. Can we talk about that? I have the graphic for it.
Yes.
Jack Stumper.
Yeah, guys. Jack is
Shitty Bets.
big steak dinners for the whole podcast, if you didn't know yet. Because one of Jack's shitty bets finally hit, baby. And it hit big. I'm just kidding. Jackson, the betting aficionado, had a big one.
If I was the betting man, which I am, I had a 6-leg parlay that I placed on Friday. And it was MLB, so it was for the Nationals to win, the Tigers to win, the Yankees to win, the Pirates to win, and Pirates to win, Phillies to win, and then Orioles to win. And I was with my girlfriend, so I placed a bet, and I didn't check it at all on Friday night. We went fishing on Saturday, and then we went to the beach, and I was like, all right, I'm going to check to see if this bet hit. And I was on the beach with my mom, my girlfriend, my dad, and all their friends, and I look at my app. Thanks to Cut Bet. Appreciate it. And it hit. So I put $15 down to win 1,000. So you can win that money with Cut Bet. You know, it's a local, you can do friend to friend, peer to peer, and you can win a lot of money. Thank you, Cut. But yeah,
thank you.
Watch out for capital gains tax.
So Jack, what's your
coming and going?
Hey Jack, what's your shitty bet for the week now?
I placed it last night. And it was another parlay. It was a 6-leg parlay. It was for the Yankees to win, the Phillies to win, the Rays to win, the Orioles to win. Or, I'm sorry, the White Sox to win, the Nationals to win, the Astros to win, and fucking everything hit but the White Sox game. So again, that was $15 down to win I think it was $1,200, and it didn't hit.
It's a pretty shitty bet.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jack shitty bets.
So
I think that's gotta be
Jack shitty bets.
That's got to be the name of his. That's got to be the name of it.
And just have a
and we just have him hit bets. That's the whole lie to it, is that it's like a Ponzi scheme. He has shitty bets, but he actually hits his bets every week. So they can't tax him or ever come after him. It's genius.
Yeah. So coming soon, we're gonna have an intro to that, and you'll hear my weekly bets and see how shitty
bets.
or how well they are. So without further ado,
they'll be shitty.
Thank you to all the viewers out there. Sorry, our show was kind of like a little cluster fuck, but we appreciate it, Chris.
I thought this was fun. This was
This
a fun
was a
little
good show. This is a good show.
I like the way we did it tonight. I love that. Chris,
We'll
Cowboys
just be
still
more
suck.
organized next week, like you said.
Cowboys still suck. And without further ado, what I do best. Hey, Zep. It's an outro, not a motherfucking intro. Hit
My
that
name is
motherfucking outro.
My name's Zep.
His name's Zep.
Jack shitty bets.